The Whisper from the Past. The wind was cold on Varela Prime. It blew between the tall metal buildings like a ghost. Lights flickered, the colony slept. But Commander Ryan Hale couldn't rest. He walked alone on the empty road, wearing his black uniform and heavy boots. His face was hard, his eyes tired. Years of war had left deep lines on his skin and a deeper silence in his soul. It had been quiet for months. Pirates gone. Alien raids stopped. No more gunfire. No more blood. Just silence. But Ryan didn't trust silence. He passed an old supply station and was about to turn back when he heard something. A voice. Soft. Strange. Familiar. "Do you remember me, human?" Ryan turned fast, one hand on his blaster. The voice had come from the shadows near the alley. He narrowed his eyes and saw her. She stepped out slowly, a tall figure, not fully human. Her skin glowed a soft silver blue under the moonlight. Her long black hair flowed like dark water. Her clothes were strange. White robes with golden threads, the kind he had seen only once in his life. But it wasn't the clothes, or her beauty that shocked him. It was her eyes, glowing violet, deep, sad. "You," he said, his voice dry. She nodded. "I was the girl you shared a bed with, years ago." The world stopped. Ryan's hand fell away from his weapon. He stared at her, his mind pulling him into the past. 5 years ago, he had crashed on a wild planet, Duran 4, wounded, lost. His ship was destroyed, no contact with command. He was going to die out there. Then she found him. He had never known her name. She had no voice back then. She had taken him into a cave, treated his wounds with strange plants, and stayed with him through the freezing nights. On the third night, she had curled beside him in the dark. He remembered her warmth, her breath, her soft hand on his chest, and then she was gone. He had thought it was a dream, a strange, beautiful dream until now. "Your name?" he whispered. "What's your name?" "Alexia," she said. His throat tightened. "Why are you here?" She looked around nervously. "I don't have much time. They are looking for me." "Who?" "Humans. Military. Your people." Ryan stepped back, shocked. "Why?" "They took her," she said. Her voice shook. "Took who?" "Our daughter." Ryan's heart nearly stopped. "What?" "She was born after you left. Half human, half Durrani. They called it a mistake. They said she was a threat. 3 years ago they took her. Said it was for protection, but they lied." Ryan stared at her. "You're saying I have a daughter?" Alexia nodded. "Her name is Aya. She is special." "Where is she?" "They keep her on Titan Facility Delta 7. It's a lab, hidden, guarded." Ryan knew that place. It was off-grid. Black Ops. Only the darkest experiments happened there. "You're telling me they're experimenting on my child?" he asked, his voice low. "They're afraid of her," Alexia said, "because she's powerful." Suddenly, a red light flashed overhead. A drone. Alexia grabbed Ryan's arm and pulled him into the shadows. The drone flew by and disappeared into the sky. "They found me," she said, breathing hard. "I ran for days to reach you. You're the only one I trust." Ryan's thoughts raced. A daughter. A secret lab. A woman from his past who saved his life, now asking him to save hers. He looked at her again. Really looked. She wasn't just beautiful. She was desperate and strong. "I'm coming with you," he said. Alexia's eyes widened. "You'll help me?" "I'll do more than help. I'll bring her home." The promise hung heavy in the air. The soldier in him woke up again. Not the kind who followed orders, the kind who protected what was his, and Aya was his. Somewhere out there, In a cold lab on a distant world, a child waited. A little girl with violet eyes, his blood, his future, and nothing would stop him from getting her back. The hidden daughter of two worlds. The next morning, the sun rose over Varela Prime, painting the metal roofs in gold. But Ryan Hale was already deep in thought, sitting inside his small quarters staring at the table. A child. His child. Her name was Aya. Half human, half alien, taken by his own people. He gripped the edge of the table tightly. Rage burned behind his calm face. Alexia sat across from him, quiet and watchful. She hadn't slept. Her eyes stayed fixed on the sky outside the small window. Her skin shimmered in the morning light, but her heart was heavy with fear. "She's 3 years old now," she finally said. "You have never seen her, but she remembers your face. I showed her a photo I took from your crashed ship." Ryan blinked. "She knows me?" Alexia nodded. "She called you Sky Daddy." That hit him harder than a punch. His chest tightened. He stood, walking to the corner of the room where his old gear sat, dusty, untouched for years. He began, pulling out armor plates, weapons, and a sealed black case. "What is that?" Alexia asked. He opened the case. Inside was a small silver chip glowing faintly blue. "This," Ryan said, "is a clearance key. It belonged to my old commander before he died in battle. It opens doors most people don't even know exist." Alexia stood too, a new hope lighting in her violet eyes. "Then we have a chance?" Ryan shook his head. "No, not yet. Delta 7 isn't on any map. If I use this key too early, they'll notice. We need stealth, a plan." Alexia hesitated. "I know someone who might help us. He used to work at the lab, a human scientist. His name is Dr. Callan Gray." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "Why would he help?" "He owed me. Years ago, during the war, I spared his life when others wanted him dead. He's been hiding ever since." Ryan nodded slowly. "Where is he?" Alexia looked away. "On the floating ruins of Ozera Station. But the place is crawling with scavengers now." "Then we go," Ryan said, "tonight. Ozera Station, orbiting dead moon." The ruins of Ozera Station spun silently in the void. Once a proud research hub, now it floated broken in pieces, abandoned, decaying. Glowing blue gas leaked from its cracked engines. Ryan piloted a small black stealth pod as it moved toward the wreckage. Alexia sat beside him, eyes focused. The ship jolted as it entered the debris field. Metal chunks floated around them like ghosts of war. "I see movement," Alexia whispered. "Ahead, Sector 3B. Ryan narrowed his eyes. "Scavengers." The pod docked softly. Ryan grabbed his rifle. Alexia held a thin energy blade on her wrist. They stepped out into the dark hallway. Lights flickered above. Cold steam rose from broken pipes. Every step echoed like a warning. Suddenly a growl echoed through the station. Something moved fast in the shadows. Then, a scream. Ryan spun and aimed. A scavenger flew toward them, teeth sharp, eyes wild. Alexia struck first, her blade slicing the air. The man fell with a cry. 3 more rushed in. Ryan didn't miss. 2 shots. 2 bodies down. The third dropped his weapon and ran. Alexia pulled Ryan forward. "Dr. Gray's lab is ahead." They rushed through broken corridors until they found a sealed room. Ryan placed the commander's key against the panel. A beep. The door hissed open. Inside was a mess of metal, wires, and machines. But in the center, under a dim light, sat an old man with gray hair and trembling hands. He turned slowly, saw Alexia, and gasped. "You survived." "I did," she said. "And now I need your help." Gray's eyes shifted to Ryan. "And him?" "My daughter's father." Ryan stepped forward. "Where is Aya?" Gray looked down. "She's not in Delta 7 anymore. They moved her." "What?" Ryan's voice was sharp. 2 weeks ago," Gray whispered. They feared her powers were growing. She started bending metal, causing earthquakes in the lower labs. Alexia's breath caught. She's just a child. Yes, Gray said, but she's a weapon to them now. Where is she? Ryan demanded. Gray sighed. They sent her to the cradle, a hidden base under the oceans of Neptune. No windows, no signals. Nothing leaves alive. Ryan stepped back, fists clenched. Neptune. That was far, deep, deadly. But that was where his daughter was. He turned to Alexia. We're not stopping. She nodded. Then let's bring her home. And so began their most dangerous mission yet. The cradle beneath Neptune. Neptune hung like a giant blue monster in the dark space sky, swirling with violent clouds and storms that never stopped. Deep under its thick clouds, far beneath the crushing ocean, lay a secret place humans only whispered about. The cradle. It wasn't on any map. It didn't show up on any scanner. It was built to be invisible. But that's where they kept her. Aya, Ryan Hale's daughter. Half human, half alien, powerful, and locked away. Now Ryan and Alexia floated in a silent black ship just outside Neptune's orbit. The scientist Dr. Gray had given them the codes, the path, a stolen access route only a dead man would have known. Ryan stared out the front window. Neptune's waves churned below like hungry teeth. Alexia sat beside him, silent, eyes locked on the darkness ahead. Do you think she's still alive? Ryan asked softly. Alexia's voice cracked. I feel her. She's scared, but she's alive. Ryan didn't understand alien instincts, but he believed her. Because he had to. He tapped the controls. Going in. Inside, the cradle. Neptune Ocean Base. The base was buried deep under miles of frozen water. The pressure could crush metal in seconds. But the cradle was built to survive. It wasn't made for comfort. It was made for control. Inside, cold white lights lit endless silver hallways. Cameras watched everything. Drones hovered. Guards wore black suits with glowing red visors. In one room, behind a thick force field wall, sat a small girl, Aya. Her skin was soft gray, her hair black and long like her mother's. Her eyes, violet and glowing faintly, were her father's strength and her mother's mystery. She held a small ball in her hands. It floated without touching her. She twisted her fingers. The ball spun and changed shape. A camera clicked. She dropped the ball and looked up. Leave me alone, she said in a small, angry voice. Behind the glass, two humans in white lab coats watched. She's doing it again, one whispered. Telekinetic control. Unstable but growing. We can't hold her much longer, the other replied. The cradle wasn't built for something like this. They didn't know. Aya had been practicing, quietly, secretly, and she was stronger than they thought. Back to Ryan and Alexia, approaching the cradle. Their stealth ship slipped through a hidden trench, moving closer to the underwater base. They followed the exact route Gray gave, through a pipe once used for waste disposal. It had been sealed, but Ryan blew it open. The water rushed around them like a monster. The ship trembled. Metal groaned. Alarms blinked. Alexia held onto her seat. We won't make it if the inner doors don't open. Ryan gritted his teeth. Then we forced them open. The ship pushed forward. Inside the base, sirens suddenly screamed. Lights turned red. Intrusion detected. Guards armed themselves. Aya, locked in her cell, looked up. Her heart beat faster. Daddy? She whispered like a prayer. Inside the cradle, fire and storm. The ship crashed into an emergency bay. Ryan kicked the hatch open. He stepped into the base with blaster ready. Alexia followed, her energy blade glowing. Guards rushed in. 3, 5, 10, too many. Ryan moved fast. His blaster fired with deadly aim. Alexia spun, dodging bullets, slicing through weapons. Her speed was not human, but the base was endless. Every hallway led to another hallway until suddenly, Alexia stopped. She's near, she said. I feel her. Ryan grabbed her hand. Let's go. They turned a corner, and there she was, Aya, behind glass, alone. Her small face pressed to the wall. Mommy, she screamed. Alexia ran to her. Aya! But metal bars dropped between them. From above, a cold voice echoed. So, you finally came back, said a man in black armor, his face hidden. Commander Hale, traitor, you broke every rule. Ryan aimed his blaster. Give me my daughter, the man laughed. She's not yours anymore, she belongs to the project now. Behind the glass, Aya stood, silent, her tiny fists clenched, the OE. Lights around her began to flicker. The ground shook. The man stopped laughing. What the? Crack. The glass around Aya exploded, not outward but inward. Bent by her will, she stepped out. Calm. Glowing. I don't belong to you, she said. The lights blew. The walls cracked. Aya's power had awakened. Ryan and Alexia stood frozen. Their daughter was no longer just a scared child. She was a storm, in a little body. And now, the people who hurt her would pay. Escape with the storm child. Alarms blared inside the cradle. Red lights flashed. Metal walls groaned. The sea outside trembled as if the entire ocean had felt the anger of one small child. Aya. She stood barefoot in the middle of the corridor, her black hair floating around her like smoke. Her eyes blazed violet. Tiny sparks of energy danced around her fingers. Ryan Hale stared at her. He couldn't speak. His daughter, so small, so calm, had just shattered a bulletproof glass wall with her mind. Alexia stepped forward, her voice shaking. Aya. It's us. Mommy. Daddy. Aya turned to them. Her face softened. Mommy, she whispered. You came. I told you I would, Alexia said. Aya ran into her arms. Alexia held her tightly, tears falling down her cheeks. Ryan came closer, kneeling beside them. His hand gently touched Aya's shoulder. She looked at him, studied his face. You're my sky daddy. Ryan's throat tightened. I am, and I'm here to take you home. But they had no time. The armored man from before, Commander Klein, stepped forward, flanked by 6 elite guards. Each one had a plasma cannon aimed at them. She's not going anywhere, Klein said. Aya stepped back, her face hard again. Ryan stood between them. I won't let you take her, Klein laughed. You think you can protect her? She's not a child, she's a weapon, Alexia growled. She's our daughter. Wrong, Klein barked. She belongs to the Human Genetic Division now. Aya suddenly raised her hand. The floor beneath Klein cracked. The guards opened fire. Boom. A wave of invisible force exploded from Aya. The bullets stopped midair and fell. Ryan grabbed Aya's hand. We have to move. Now. They ran down the corridor. Alexia slashed through the steel doors ahead. Aya moved with ease, her power bending lights, locking doors behind them, pushing away threats without touching them. Ryan's heart raced. She's not just powerful. She's getting stronger by the second. Alexia looked at him. She's never been free before. Now her mind is open. Another hallway. 3 guards. One raised a cannon. Aya flicked her wrist. The cannon melted. Ryan kicked the guard aside. The ship bay was ahead, but a loud voice boomed through the speakers. Seal all exits, flood the lower levels, do not let them escape. The floor trembled. Pipes burst. Cold ocean water spilled in. The cradle was collapsing. They had seconds. Ryan sprinted to the ship. Aya, in, now. Alexia lifted the child into the pod. More guards were coming. Ryan jumped into the pilot seat. Alexia slammed the hatch shut. The base behind them was breaking apart. Ryan hit the engines. The stealth pod blasted out into Neptune's ocean. Outside, Neptune's orbit, the ship burst out of the sea, rising fast toward the stars. Behind them, the cradle cracked open like an egg. A giant column of water exploded upward, chasing the ship. Ryan pulled the controls hard. Hold on! They shot through the clouds. Ice, lightning, wind. Aya held on to her mother. Her eyes were wide but calm. "I'm not afraid," she said. Ryan smiled. "Good. Because they're going to chase us." Above Neptune, 3 black military ships waited. "They're waiting for us," Alexia said, her voice tight. Ryan slammed his fist on the control panel. "They planned this." A warning alarm screamed, "Lock-on detected." The enemy ships opened fire. Lasers cut across the sky. Ryan dove. The ship twisted, dodging. He flew low, using Neptune's rings to hide. One blast hit their left wing. Sparks flew. Aya placed her hands on the wall. Her eyes glowed again. Suddenly, the ship stabilized. "What did she do?" Ryan gasped. "She healed the damage," Alexia whispered. Ryan's eyes widened. "That's not telekinesis, that's matter control." Behind them, 2 ships closed in. Alexia looked at Ryan. "We can't outrun them." "I know," he said, "but we can outsmart them." He turned hard and headed straight toward Neptune's electric storm belt. The enemy followed. The storm belt, final escape lightning, tore through space like a dragon's breath. Ryan dove into it. The enemy paused, then followed. Inside the storm, the ship shook. Lights flickered. Shields dropped to 12%. "Aya!" Ryan yelled. "Can you hold the ship together?" She nodded, tiny hands glowing. The walls stopped shaking. The ship flew smooth through chaos. Ryan saw the other ships struggle. Lightning struck them, one spun out and vanished. "Now!" he shouted. He fired a flare bomb behind him, then turned straight up and punched the engine. They shot out of the storm cloud like a bullet. The last enemy ship lost them in the mess. Silence returned. Stars twinkled above. Ryan sat back in his seat, gasping for breath. Alexia looked at him. "We made it." Aya smiled. "You both came for me." Ryan turned around. "We'll always come for you." But deep in his heart, he knew this was just the beginning. Aya's powers were growing, and the people who created the cradle weren't going to stop. The outlaw moon of Threxus. 3 days had passed since they escaped Neptune. Ryan's stealth ship floated through deep space, hidden in the debris cloud of a broken asteroid belt. It was the only safe place left. For now. Inside the ship, things were not quiet. Aya sat in the corner, eyes glowing faintly. Around her, small metal parts floated, slowly spinning, forming shapes on their own. A gear, a cube, a strange sphere. She wasn't touching them. Ryan watched from the control panel. "She hasn't slept in 2 days," he whispered. "She's afraid," Alexia said softly beside him. "She feels everything." "Like what?" Alexia looked at him. "Thoughts, energy, people's fear. And more than that, she hears them coming." Ryan turned. "The military?" She nodded. "They've placed a bounty on us across all colonies." "How much?" Alexia's voice was bitter. "Enough to make bounty hunters give up their souls." In orbit, news spreads like fire across the galaxy. Screens blinked with alerts. "Wanted, Commander Ryan Hale, traitor to the Human Alliance." "Wanted, Subject AY4, Aya, extremely dangerous genetic hybrid." "Reward, 100 million credits, dead or alive, every outlaw, every hunter." Every warship with rusted guns suddenly had one goal: find the girl, Ryan's ship. Searching for a place to hide, they couldn't go to Earth, couldn't go to any station. Every gate was locked. Every friend now a risk. Ryan pulled up a map. "There's only one place left," he muttered. Alexia looked. "Threxus." He nodded. The outlaw moon. No rules, no government. A dead rock full of smugglers, killers, rebels, and secrets. The kind of place where people like them could disappear or be hunted in plain sight. Threxus. The city of smoke. The ship landed in a hidden hangar built into a mountain of black stone. Outside, the air was thick with fire smoke and neon lights. Buildings were stacked like broken bones. Music echoed from dirty taverns. People here didn't ask questions. Ryan wore a hood. Alexia wrapped Aya in a brown cloak. "Stay close," Ryan said. "Don't show your powers." Aya nodded. They walked down dark alleys, past creatures with sharp teeth and glowing eyes. Aya looked scared but said nothing. They entered a broken-down safe house owned by an old rebel named Jex. He was a cyborg with one red eye and rusted limbs. "Didn't think I'd see you again, Hale," he growled. "I need a place. A week, maybe less," Ryan said. "Your face is worth more than my ship," Jex replied. Ryan tossed a heavy bag of credits. Jex caught it, opened it, smiled. "You got 5 days. Inside the safe house. Something's changing." That night, Aya began to glow again. Alexia woke up and rushed to her. "What's happening?" Aya sat up in her sleep. Her hands hovered in the air. The walls shook, lights flickered. Ryan jumped out of bed. "Aya!" Her eyes opened, but they were pure white now. "I see them," she whispered. "Who?" She pointed upward. "Ships 15, coming." Ryan checked the radar. She was right. A small fleet had entered Threxus orbit. "How did she know?" he asked. Alexia whispered. "Her power is evolving. She's linking with signals, minds, machines." "Aya," Ryan said, kneeling beside her, "can you stop them?" "I don't want to hurt anyone," she whispered, "but I will if they try to take me again." Ryan's chest tightened. "Then we'll run before that happens." Outside, Threxus turns hostile, but it was too late. The bounty hunters had landed, and one of them, a masked woman in red armor, had already spotted them through a rooftop scope. She smiled. Target confirmed. "The girl is here." She sent a signal. Hundreds of hunters began marching toward the safe house. Jex kicked open the door. "Hale! You've got 30 minutes before this place burns." Ryan grabbed his gun. Alexia took Aya's hand. "We fight our way out," Ryan said. "We won't make it," Alexia warned. "Then we make them afraid," he replied. Final stand. Aya awakens. Again outside the safe house, flames lit the streets. Bounty hunters surrounded the building. Guns charged. Drones flew overhead. Aya stepped out onto the balcony. Her cloak fell away. She raised her hands. The ground cracked. The metal street twisted like a serpent. Lights blew out. Drones dropped from the sky. Then her voice echoed. Not loud, but deep inside every mind. "Leave us, or be broken." Half of the hunters ran. The others raised their guns. Shaking, Ryan fired first. The fight began, but this time, it wasn't just Ryan and Alexia, it was Aya, too. She wasn't a prisoner anymore. She was a storm, and she was fighting for her freedom. The truth beneath her blood. Smoke filled the air over Threxus. Buildings burned, sirens wailed, and in the middle of the chaos stood a little girl with glowing violet eyes. Aya. Her hands were raised. Her face was calm, but her power was wild. Too wild. Ryan held Alexia back. "She's losing control," Alexia's voice cracked. "She doesn't know how to stop." Around them, bounty hunters screamed and ran as the metal ground bent like soft clay. Buildings crumbled. Sparks flew from the sky. Aya didn't move her feet, but her mind was reaching out like a wave. Then her nose started bleeding, and her knees began to shake. Ryan rushed forward. "Aya, stop, please, it's enough." But she didn't seem to hear him. Her eyes were glowing white now. Her hands trembled. "She's going to burn herself out," Alexia shouted. Suddenly, a shadow moved through the sky. A giant ship, long, silver and shaped like a blade, descended from the clouds. It was not human. Ryan raised his gun. "Who the hell?" Alexia froze. "No, it can't be." The ship hovered silently above the burning city. Then a beam of soft green light shone down. It wrapped around Aya and gently, peacefully, put her to sleep. She floated upward, weightless, as if being carried by an invisible hand. Ryan screamed, "No, bring her back!" Alexia grabbed his arm. "Wait, look." The ship's doors opened. Inside stood a tall, golden-skinned alien. Long robes, bright markings across his arms. His voice echoed into their minds without moving his lips. "We do not come to harm. We come to protect our child." Ryan's heart stopped. Alexia's eyes filled. "With tears, you knew?" Ryan whispered. She nodded slowly. "I knew her power didn't come from just me. Or just you." Ryan looked up again. Aya was still floating, safe in the green light. The golden alien stepped onto the balcony. "She is not just your daughter," he said. "She is the first of a new bloodline, one that was forbidden long ago." Ryan's voice shook. "Who are you?" The alien touched his chest. "We are the Orial. Long before humans walked, we ruled the stars. But we were nearly destroyed. Only a few of us survived, hidden, waiting." He looked at Alexia. "You carry part of our blood." Then at Ryan. "And you, human, gave it what we never had: emotion, fire, choice." Ryan stepped forward. "You're saying she's more than a hybrid?" "She is the bridge," the alien said, "between machine and spirit, between logic and love. She can reshape matter and minds. She can save planets or destroy them." Alexia whispered, "But she's just a child." The alien nodded. "That's why she must be protected. If the human military gets her again, they will not just study her. They will clone her, weaponize her, use her to wipe out entire races." Ryan's fists clenched. "We'll never let that happen." The alien's eyes glowed. "We can teach her, help her control her power, but only if you let her go. For now." Ryan looked at Alexia. His heart twisted. "Let her go, after everything?" He stepped toward the light. Aya floated gently inside it, asleep. She looked peaceful. "Safe." He whispered, "Aya." The girl's eyes opened. She looked down at him. "Daddy?" He smiled through tears. "You'll be okay, Starshine. I promise." "Will I see you again?" "Yes," he said, voice cracking. "I'll find you. No matter where you are." She reached out with her tiny fingers. He touched the light. Couldn't feel her. But somehow, she felt closer than ever. Then, the light pulled her upward, and the Orial ship rose silently into the sky, past the smoke, past the stars. Gone. Days later, hidden refuge Ryan and Alexia sat by a campfire on a forgotten moon, deep in uncharted space. They hadn't spoken. Much, the silence hurt, but they knew they had made the right choice. Still, the pain remained. Suddenly, a soft beeping broke the quiet. Ryan checked his wrist console. A message, just a single word on the screen. Soon, sent from an untraceable signal. He smiled. "She's out there," he said. Alexia nodded. "And she's not alone anymore." Ryan looked at the stars. "This isn't over," he whispered. "The ones who took her before, they'll come again. And next time, we'll be ready." The return of the Starborn. 7 years later, Earth was burning, not the blue skies and green cities of the past. This was a different Earth now. Its skies were filled with fire, its oceans boiled. Above, a massive black mothership hovered, blotting out the sun. The enemy had come from deep space. The Kaldari swarm. Machines without mercy. They didn't speak. They didn't ask. They only destroyed. The human military fought back, but it wasn't enough. Not this time. Ryan Hale, now older, scarred, and weary, stood on a broken rooftop in New London looking up at the battle in the sky. He wore his old commander uniform, but it was torn and dusty. Beside him stood Alexia, still graceful, her face calm, but her eyes full of pain. She clutched something in her hand, an old photo of a little girl with violet eyes. "Where are you, Aya?" she whispered. "You promised you'd come back." Ryan said nothing. They had waited, Waited years, hoped every day, believed through every night. But there had been no sign, until now. In the sky, a new light, a golden light streaked through the clouds. Fast, blinding, faster than anything human made. It shot straight through the heart of the Caldari mothership. Boom. The sky cracked open. The mothership split in half, and through the fire walked a figure. Floating, shining. Her feet never touched the ground. Her black hair flew like a cape behind her. Her long white robes glowed at the edges. Her eyes, still violet, burned like twin stars. Aya had returned. Back on the rooftop, Ryan stared upward, stunned. "That's her," he breathed. Alexia's hand trembled. "She's grown." "No," Ryan whispered. "She's become what they feared." Aya, in battle as drones, swarmed her from all sides. She raised one hand, and time slowed. Lasers stopped mid-air. Machines froze in place. With a wave of her fingers, she turned them to dust. Cities below cheered. Soldiers stopped running. People began to hope again. At Earth Command Center, the last of the generals argued over what to do. One of them, a cold man with silver eyes, spoke harshly. "She's a threat. She's not one of us anymore." Then Aya entered the room. No doors opened. No alarms went off. She simply was there. Everyone fell silent. She looked around the room. "You locked me in a cage when I was a child. You tried to make me a weapon." The general raised his gun. She blinked once. The gun melted. "I came to save Earth," she said, softly. "Not to rule it, not to hurt it. But I will not let you cage anyone like me ever again." She turned and walked out. No one followed. No one dared. Ryan and Alexia stood alone in the ruins of their old home, far outside the city. The grass had returned here. The sky was clearer now. And then she came, floating down from the sky like a comet. Her light dimmed as she touched the ground. She looked older, taller, stronger, but her face broke into the same little smile. "Mom. Dad." Alexia ran to her first, sobbing. Ryan followed. "Aya, my God." They embraced her. For a long time, none of them spoke. Then Aya pulled back, her voice shaking with joy. "I missed you every day." Ryan held her close. "We never stopped believing you'd return." Aya looked up at the sky. "I've seen galaxies, touched stars, but this is home." 1 week later, a new beginning with the Caldari destroyed, Earth began to heal. The council offered Aya a crown, a seat of power, an army. She refused. Instead, she built something new. A school, hidden in the forest, open to every child, human, alien, hybrid, a place where no one would be caged, no one judged, no one feared for being different. Ryan and Alexia lived nearby, helping raise the next generation. Sometimes they would walk through the trees and watch Aya teaching small children how to feel energy, shape matter, and use power with love, not fear. And every night, Aya would look up at the stars. She knew Earth was safe, but the universe was still vast, and one day someone else like her would be alone, afraid and lost. When that day came, she'd be ready. Because she wasn't just human, wasn't just alien. She was Aya, the Starborn, the girl who rose from a cage to become the hope of two worlds.